Live from the offices of Great River Investments in the beautiful city of Burlington, Iowa, this is the Marvin Knows Finances Show. I am your host, Marvin Thompson, your certified financial planner, and joining me today is Joe Jolan of Jolan Media in West Burlington, Iowa, and our special guest, Joey, Christos, Carson, and Jacob, all students at BHS. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of our day to listen in, and for all your listeners on Google Podcast and Spotify, don't forget to click the subscribe button. If you prefer to see how we make the show come together, please check out our YouTube channel, Marvin Knows Finances, and click subscribe there as well. Just like the last and every time, I have to take care of a little business before we get moving too far forward to please my compliance department. Marvin Thompson is an investment advisor representative and a registered representative with Brokers Financial member SIPC, and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of Brokers Financial. The topics discussed and opinions given are not intended to address the specific needs of any listeners. Great River Investments LLC does not offer legal or tax advice. Listeners are encouraged to discuss their financial needs with the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstances. So today we are going to skip our question of the week in order to give more time for discussion with our guests. Thank you for joining us today, guys, and letting us know your thoughts on your future plans and how you are planning to achieve them and what you are being taught in the Burlington schools about finances. So welcome, everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you guys are representing all.
You're representing.
Wow, gosh.
Yeah.
You're actually representing all Generation Z for across the country.
Wow.
Okay, so no big deal there.
See, your generation is really into TikTok. Let's go into that.
Actually, I'm into TikTok too. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah. TikTok's the best thing ever, in my opinion. Okay, so let's start out today with everybody introducing themselves. Tell me what grade you're in and some of the background of what you're planning to do after high school. So, Joe, you go first.
So, I'm Joey Jolan, and I'm a sophomore, and kind of what I like to do after high school is kind of like media related and kind of what my dad does, like with taking pictures and doing video stuff, whether that's like editing videos or just taking video. You know, it's kind of all of what I got to decide, but...
Okay. Do you have to go to school for that, or you think you can pick up enough knowledge without college to do that?
That's a great question, because I think it's like I can make a lot more money if I would go to school for it and get like a degree in something that's related to that. But I could go right out of high school and go into something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, Christos, what about you?
I'm Christos Gonçalves. I'm also a sophomore. And I'm planning to go to college, and I want to be a physical therapist.
Physical therapist?
Yeah.
Very cool. Don't want to follow in your dad's footsteps?
Not really.
No? I can't say that I blame you. So, all right, Carson, you're up next. bud.
My name's Carson Ziegler. I'm a sophomore, and both my sisters are in med school. Well, my older sister's in dental school, so I plan to go to college with something medical related. Haven't really chosen what I want to do yet, but something like that.
Very good. Yeah. And last but not least, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm Jacob Widmer. I'm also a sophomore at BHS, and after high school, I plan on going to probably SEC and do something in the marketing or sales category.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, so we were talking a little bit earlier about your extracurricular activities. So why don't you tell us what you guys do?
I run cross country.
This is Joey, by the way.
Yeah, this is Joey. Sorry. I run cross country. I do basketball, and then I do other stuff within the school, like doing some picture stuff and doing some video stuff. But that's all like within school. So
Very cool. Christos?
I do baseball and basketball, and I'm not really into anything else.
No, that gets up most of your time.
I'm pretty boring. I only do basketball, so.
Yeah, and then I only do wrestling.
I love it. And of course, you guys all lifting weights and preparing for the off season and all that good stuff.
you know, we're trying to.
We're getting to it.
It kind of breaks my heart. I don't see any football players. Nobody said football. Come on, guys.
Never.
Come on.
I know I do cross country.
Christos is buff. Look at the shoulders on that kid, man. You could definitely run the football, no doubt about it.
Nope.
Okay, so my podcast, guys, I mean, this is the first time you've been on it, of course, but, you know, my podcast is to talk about finances, and I'm glad you guys came in, and thank you very much for doing this, because, you know, at my age, you know, I'm 50 years old, I'm 30-some years removed from you guys in age, and, you know, my kids are right around your age, but they refuse to come on the show, so what we're going to do today is we're just going to talk a little bit about, you know, what are you being taught in regards to finances in the public school systems? I know what gets taught at BHS might be different than Notre Dame or Danville or Minneapolis or something like that. But so let's start out, and I'm going to kind of mix this up a little bit. Jacob, I'm going to go to you first.
Okay.
All right. Are you aware of any financial classes at BHS, and have you taken them?
I know like it's a required credit. Like at BHS, you have to take a class called financial literacy.
Oh, good.
So I know you have to take that before you graduate, but I haven't taken it yet.
Okay. Any of you taken the class yet?
It's
Not
more
yet.
once
No?
you become an upperclassman, I think you
Yeah.
take it then.
Is that when it is?
Yeah.
That's more
Okay.
like, well, you can take it any time, but it's more people take it later on.
Okay. Is this Mr. Kip's class?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Great guy. Great instructor. I've actually spoke to that class before.
Oh,
So
there you go.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So you guys really don't know what's being taught in the class
Not
in
a
terms
ton,
of
no.
Not
a
too
ton
much.
yet.
Because right now it's more, we have a lot more required classes,
Okay.
like as underclassmen, so our schedules are a lot more filled. But as we get older, we get more opportunities to take like electives and stuff.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So you haven't taken the class in school yet, but there's tons of resources out there for you guys. Are you at the age right now where you're starting to think about the money and, how do I make it? What do I do with it? So what resources are you looking at to kind of uncover some of those things? I'm assuming you're all talking to parents or grandparents or
Yeah,
something like
mostly
that. But
parents.
is there anything out there besides that?
I mean, really, all my financial advice comes from my parents. There's some elective classes at BHS that teach you a little bit about that, but anytime I'm like confused about money, I just go to my parents.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I just go to my
The
parents.
parents are the number one resource right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so all you parents listening out there, make sure you're honest with your students about what mistakes you've made, what's the right thing to do, what's not the right thing to do, and so forth. Okay? So, I was kind of trying to figure out a way to word this, okay? And maybe it's going to sound bad when I say it, but do you guys feel like your generation is a little entitled? Like, do you guys understand the concept of contentment in terms of working towards a goal and getting that goal established later on? Or is it a now kind of thing?
See, I find myself very hard. I find it hard to be patient.
Hey, that's a perfect answer right there.
Yeah. So it is a little bit of like, I want it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
If
And I'm
that's-
assuming a car might be something in your near future here?
I have a '94 Jeep Wrangler
My
sitting
man.
in the parking lot right there.
Oh, man, I think I heard you roll in.
Yeah. You probably could have heard me like in that intersection right there.
So the patience is the big problem.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Is there anything you're all working towards right now in terms of a big goal? Everybody getting cars? Everybody have cars?
Yeah.
Everybody's got cars. Beautiful. Who's got girlfriends?
I do.
We got one hand that
These
went up.
two
but
over
I
here.
won't-
Me and Chris.
Okay,
got it.
2 hands went up. Okay, so there goes the rest of your money. No, just kidding, guys. Just kidding.
Oh, man.
Just kidding. Okay, so we, your parents, I know pretty much all your parents. What we're sitting out here trying to teach you guys is the concept of patience and how hard it is to earn that money because your parents earn the money,
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't just wake up one day and have gobs of money in their accounts. They've
Right.
all come from point A to get to where they're at today. And, that concept of entitlement is a bad word. I hate using that word with you guys, and I'm sorry about that. But I was just kind of curious as if, you understood where and what your parents do to give you what they give you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like
Yeah.
everybody does.
I
sure.
mean I see it in like the hours that my mom works, especially now that it's like tax season.
Mhm.
And it's a little bit busier for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I see what my dad does, because it's kind of like what I want to do and what like I help him out with some stuff. So I see like where that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
And Christos, I'm assuming you understand the hours your dad works.
Yeah, he's gone all the time.
He's gone all the time. I mean, his dad's a physician, so it's not a 8 to 5 job, for sure. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions about how do you feel about certain things. So you're not quite there yet in terms of your ages and so forth, but credit cards. How do you guys feel about credit cards?
We haven't really experienced like using a credit card.
Good.
yeah.
That's so good. I wish I could keep it that way forever for you guys. Okay? When I come in and do my presentation to the high school students, whether it's at your school or Notre Dame, we spend a good amount of time talking about credit cards because the credit cards are something that's going to severely possibly damage your futures if you get too involved with them or have any issues and so forth. So Keep this in mind, and it's probably 2 or 3 years away from everybody, but when you're on your college campuses and you're walking through the student unions and there's a table set up there that says, hey, you'll get a free t-shirt if you just sign up for this credit card, that's the beginning of the end. Okay? That's when you break the seal to stupidity. All right?
But
And
come
I don't
on,
know
it's a
if-
free T-shirt though.
It's a free t-shirt or a free tumbler or a free, protein mixer or whatever it is. It's not good, okay? So be careful of the credit cards because they do cause problems for everybody out there. The average family right now carries like $8,000 of credit card debt. And at 15% interest, it's a lot of money, guys, so avoid that if you can. And for all students out there, avoid that, please. What about student loans?
Is that college like debt?
College debt.
Jeez. Yeah.
College debt. So a couple of years ago, I went to something called Southeast Iowa Regional Days, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but they had a group of students, seniors, juniors in high school, and they all stood up on stage and talked about what they wanted to do for a living, but how much debt they were going to incur when they got out of school.
Right.
And there was one young lady on there, she says, I'm going to be a teacher, and she's going to go $120,000 in debt to go to college, because she was going to go to Iowa for whatever it was, 4 years, 5 years, okay? You realize that taking on that kind of debt at your age is, once again, just like credit cards. It's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
God bless her for wanting to be a teacher, but teachers in Burlington, Iowa, they don't make enough to pay $120,000 in student loan debt.
Right.
Okay? So if you guys go to college and for whatever you do and you have to take on student loan debt, if that's even a possibility for you guys, make sure you're going to be doing a career, physical therapy, in the field of medicine, whatever the case may be, where you can actually pay those student loans back. Okay?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
you don't want to be 22 years old and have that kind of debt hanging out over your head.
Right.
Okay? Saving for retirement, not even a thought for you guys right now.
No.
It shouldn't be a thought for you guys. Please don't make it a thought for you guys, okay? But I want a couple of things I want to just point out to everybody. Start early, okay? When you have a real job, you can start investing right away. I know that sounds weird, but like with my kids, Travis is 18, Natalie's 21. They both have investment accounts set up already where they're putting monies in out of their own paychecks each month, okay? They will have tons of money someday just from doing that simple. As you're young, when you get 18 years old, whatever, it only takes a couple $100 a month to actually become a millionaire, possibly become a millionaire, I should say, by the time you're 65. I'm not going to put any guarantees out there for you. I'll be long dead by the time you guys are 65, but but anyway, I just want you guys to keep that in mind, as you progress in your futures here, okay? Do you guys have any questions for me in terms of, where you're at and what your thoughts are and maybe some advice I've given for my kids and stuff through the years?
I got nothing.
No?
No.
I would say through high school, what do you think is the best way to save money throughout high school?
Not have a girlfriend. Totally kidding, guys. Totally kidding. The best way to save in high school is you have to almost force yourself to have not a budget, but you have to have a certain dollar amount you want to save every month. Okay. So a couple of interesting things. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot for you guys to become extremely wealthy as you get older. But forcing somebody who's 18, 19 years old, forcing yourself as an 18 or 19-year-old to save a couple $100 almost seems impossible. Okay. But in the world we live in nowadays, with all the side hustles you guys can do, with all the part-time jobs, I mean, I'm going to really age myself there, but my first job, I made like $3.35 an hour. Okay, you guys would laugh at anything less than what, $12, $15 an hour?
Yeah.
I make 10 an hour.
Yeah,
You
I
make 10 an hour,
Well,
okay.
I also make 10.
Unless you're working in a summer camp.
Unless you're working in summer camp, which is more for other reasons
Yeah.
than money,
That is
obviously.
true.
Okay, but to make $100,000 a year, you only really need to make about $255, $65 a day. And with your generation, with the way this world economy is working right now, each and every one of you could damn near make $200 a day if you really put forth the effort to do it. Now, how you're going to do it, I don't know. I really don't know, but it's totally possible for you guys. So the answer to your question in a roundabout way is you need to be able to tell yourself, I'm going to save this $100 every month, and nothing's going to divert from that. Okay? And it's going to go somewhere where you don't plan on touching it. It's almost like you set it and forget it. Your money's going in every month, you're not worried about it, and that money's gonna be used for something down the road. Okay? But I'm envious of you guys, because when your dad and your mom and dad and your mom and dad and your mom and dad were kids, we didn't have the opportunities you guys have today to make the money that you guys can make. I mean, I'm dumbfounded by like people on TikTok.
Yeah.
What they make.
Yeah.
I mean,
Seriously.
good Lord, they're acting stupid for 30 seconds and
Yeah.
get paid tens of thousands a
Yeah,
year.
I know.
So it's pretty amazing. So I'm totally jealous of you guys in terms of that aspect. You guys can make that money, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So anything else?
No.
Perfect. Okay, guys, so we're going to go ahead and close the show then. So I want to close today's show by telling you how impressed I am with our guest. For sophomores at BHS, I'm super impressed with the fact that they're going to be taking the financial literacy class with Mr. Kip in the next couple of years. I'm very happy to hear that it's a required class. This class will give them the footings, the groundwork, so to speak, to become financially successful in their lives. And kudos to the school districts around the area and to the teachers like Mr. Kip who are out there teaching us stuff, because it's super important. My heartfelt thanks goes out to all of you for listening today. A special thanks to Joe Jolin, the dad, who's actually in the background today, smiling like a proud peacock as his son. His son Joey, Christos, Carson, and Jacob for joining me today and providing their feedback and answering my questions. Please keep in mind, we want to hear from you. Please reach out to me by either calling me at 319-576-2264 or visiting my website at www.greatriverinvestments.com. Go to the contact us section of the site, and a member of my team or myself may be in touch with you shortly to discuss our next steps together. Thank you again for listening to the Marvin Knows Finances Show. This is Marvin Thompson, your certified financial planner. Have a great day.